Hello, hello, hello. This is Tiffany with Healthy Passions. If you do not know me, let me briefly introduce myself. I am a certified personal trainer, certified wellness coach, certified energy healer by birth. I am an oracle prophetess and a natural healer. Today, we're going to go into our types of witchcraft series, and we're going to go into chaos magic, all right, or chaos witchcraft, all right? So, if you know me, I will let you know that magic in itself is not bad. But when you get into violating spiritual law, violating someone's free will, and getting into darker methods of magic, that's when it becomes witchcraft. And that's what the Most High Yah asks us to stray away from. All right? Even the Most High Yah does not do a violation of spiritual law. Okay? So for us humans, mere humans doing that, it is the audacity for me. That would be crazy work. But anyway, people do it every day. So let's get into chaos magic. Chaos magic is a modern, eclectic, and highly personal approach to magic that challenges traditional rules and structures. This practice emphasizes the individual's ability to shape reality through the conscious mind. Practitioners create their own unique magical system, drawing from diverse sources and discard rigid structures. Originating in the UK in the 1970s, it aligns with the punk movement's spirit of rebellion and experimentation. I thought that was very interesting that it was a spirit of rebellion because in scriptures it says rebellion is like witchcraft. So they coincide. So it makes sense that it would be birthed during that time. Okay. Chaos magic positions or sits its belief that it shapes reality, right? By deliberately shifting beliefs, practitioners can influence the world around them. A common practice in chaos magic is to create and use in the use of sigils that are imbued with the practitioner's intention and then charged through various methods to manifest the intent. All right, pause. Let me tell you what a sigil is. A sigil is a common practice that involves creating and charging sigils or a symbol imbued with intent to manifest desires. Sigils are not bad in themselves, but they can be used or made for good or bad. We have used them in our heritage as Hebrew Israelites for good. So we actually use those. But the enemy uses them for evil so they're not mad in themselves. It depends on the intent and what they're created for. So I just wanted to put that out there. So you won't be scared of every symbol. We have them too. It's just you have the right hand side and you have the left hand side. Okay. So a common practice in chaos magic is to create and use sigils that are imbued with a practitioner's intention and then charged through various methods to manifest the intent. Rejection of a dogma. So in chaos magic, chaos witches that practice chaos magic, um, cosmic magic encourages the practitioner to question and discard rigid belief systems in traditional magic practices. So this one is different because usually like a dogma would be like some type of well-known religion or something like that or belief system, but this one not only does it reject any type of religion, it also rejects rigid traditional magic. So they kind of have their own little mindset there. They do their own thing. They might practice a whole bunch of different types of magic that supposedly doesn't go together, and then say that that's their thing. So it's this one is what makes this one unique. Hence to the name chaos. All right. So diagnostic. All right. So many chaos magic techniques involve entering a diagnostic state. All right. So it's like an altered state of consciousness that enhances magical work. Gymnastic state, the definition, gymnastic state, a state of profound intuitive and spiritual knowledge, often referred to as gynosis, that is believed to be essential for the salvation and transcendence. how it is reached. How do they reach this state? They usually reach it through sexual excitation, intense emotions, um, fragulations, dance, drumming, chanting, sensory overload, hyperventilation, and the use of distributing or distributing or holistic uh hallucinating drugs. Hallucinating, I can't even say it, hallucinogenic drugs. So they believe that they need to be in that state in order to do these types of magic. Okay. So we already talked about what a sigil is. So these are my thoughts on it. Okay. I'm going to put that on there. All right. Number one, the process of Godnistic state is an unnecessary step with chosen ones, the remnant, especially the remnant within the remnant. We do not need sex or drugs to reach enlightenment. It comes naturally through our life experiences. Number two, chaos magic mixes religions, other magic systems, and cultures. I don't, I do not like I do not do witchcraft, but even if I did, I would know not to mix certain systems together. However, they boldly do so, and some of them don't go well together, and it can cause them physical, mental, or spiritual harm. So that's just why I'm not a fan of this at all. I'm not a fan of any witchcraft, but this one right here is kind of dangerous in my opinion. All right. Um, Some magical systems are meant for bloodlines or ancestral backgrounds. So that's what I mean by that. So, um, a while back, there was this young woman, a white woman, who decided to use voodoo magic against her black girlfriend, right? And the way that she died, they said that the deity that she was trying to use in voodoo was suspiciously thought to have killed her. So the thing about it is, some things are bloodline. All right. So even with Hebrew Israelites, we have among us people who practice witchcraft. We have good ancestors and we have bad ancestors, just like we have good people in real life and bad people in real life. And so the necessarily not so holy ancestors that didn't probably go the way that the path that they should go practice those practice those systems. All right. So it is a very real thing. So when it comes to that, there's certain bloodlines that have that. So even with Europeans, they have 13 bloodlines that they use, and they have a certain magic that they use, right? Chaos magic would be one of them. um that's something for them, that's like what they want to do. However, you have specific things like hoodoo, voodoo, things like that, voodoo, all that stuff, santeria. Those are the orishas, those are bloodline magics. So for in order for you to even have access to them safely or at all, you should be of the bloodline. If you don't, if you're not of that bloodline and you decide, hey, I'm just going to use this, you might have a problem, just like many others have found out. It's not something that I would safely suggest, especially those who are already in witchcraft doing that thing. I wouldn't suggest that you get into a culture or ancestral or family bloodline type magic and you're not a part of that. It's already dangerous, but it makes it extremely dangerous when you're not a part of the bloodline. They will come after you. It will backfire. Okay? I've seen it in real life and I've seen it in other examples. Okay? So be careful of that. Um, Number three, without any structure, there is no boundaries. That's why the Most High has laws and commandments. We are under a covenant that has a contract of laws and commandments, right? So without structure, there is no boundaries. So it's already against Torah because Torah is going to mean structure. It's going to be structured. Our Elohim, in our God, Most High, does everything decently in order. And chaos magic is already the exact opposite of that. So that's something that we know that we don't need to be a part of because we do everything in order, right? So there's no there's boundaries where we are. There's a certain order, a certain way things are done. All right. So if we enter into a system that allows us to just do whatever the hell we want, which is the spirit of rebellion, which is also witchcraft, which is there you go. So that's not something that's for our people. All right. So without structure, there is no boundaries, right? No clear measure of good and evil. So that's the issue. So the person's practicing it kind of plays the position of God of deciding what's good and what's evil, what's to be punished and what's not. And you don't want to put yourself in that position. That's the problem with witchcraft. Chaos magic, chaos magic must, uh, excuse me, chaos magic. Okay, chaos magic, like most witchcraft, is a spirit of rebellion. I talked about this already. Yah's people have and do magic. Yes, we do. However, witchcraft is going against spiritual and universal laws. And that is why it is such a serious offense. I couldn't imagine having the arrogance to go against someone's free will when even Yah himself, the source, does not do so. Um, you rebel against the natural order set in place, okay? And that's in the physical and spiritual realm. So you're in violation, and that's what makes chaos magic and all witchcraft very dangerous. All right, the magic that we do under like the Most High in our sacred orders, like the Order of Melchizedek, and stuff like that. We do magic. However, it's never going to be something that goes against Torah or goes against the Most High or the rules that He has set for the universe. It's never going to be something like that. Now, what they did is they took our sacred order and our sacred information and then they perverted it and then presented to you as something perverted and then said evil. So that's the issue. So everything's not evil, but most of the things that your enemy presents to you or uses against you is. Witchcraft was created and given to the other nations to combat our authority, our spiritual authority and abilities that the Most High allows us to do. Imagine not having those abilities and having no defense against one of the Most High's chosen. Okay, you would have no chance. So what those fallen angels did, like in the story of Enoch, what they did was gave them an opportunity or an upper hand on us. So when we did do our miracles, what people call miracles, think about it, miracle magic. Um, when we did those that we were able to do in good standing with the Most High, they learn the opposite of that and how to offset that energy, how to change the energy, how to change the intent to fight against us. So I understand why they did it, but what I don't understand is why they're willing to accept the consequences of it. That's what I don't understand, because you're going to immediately be cut off if you're going to go that route, because you're going against what God created, what the Most High created, right? So I went the long way around, but that's what we did. So Chaos Magic was today. I'm going to do a really good video next week when I do this. I think I'm almost done. I almost want to do a second video, but I won't. Um, um, I'm going to add this to the list of which types of witchcraft. But next week is going to be a really good one. Tune in for that one because it's sex magic. All right. So we all need to know about that one. I think a lot of the Most High's children fall into the tricks of sex magic, whether they're male or female. And a lot of times, I think the stereotype is that only women do witchcraft, or mainly women do witchcraft. And the thing about it is, more males do witchcraft than females. So you have a lot of females, but just know for every female you see, there is a man in that. A lot of the leaders and the high orders are males. Aleister Crowley, sex magic. Think of that, coincide. They go together. So a lot of these witches and warlocks go around using this against the Most High's children. That's why the Most High has it to where we do not have sex um, just willy nilly with anyone. We can't fornicate. This is why. It's not just the act of having sex outside of the covenant, it's things that are being done in the process. But once we get to sex magic, I'll do that whole video. So I want you guys to be careful of that. And let me end this because I didn't want it to be that long. But I love you guys. Have a good day. Bye.